Hello and welcome to the Edges of Earth. My name is Brock. Today I want to give you 28 critical tips that you need to have and know and understand to help keep you safe while you're solo traveling. This will help prevent you from being attacked, from being injured, from being cheated out of money, or even a few other things. So just a side note, I came up to the rooftop, it wasn't windy at all, and the moment I take out the camera, the wind starts to blow, and then my hair, I started over here, and then sometimes it goes over here. Maybe I can shoot like this, I don't know, this is insane. I can see myself on the camera, I see myself, and it looks pretty scary, so anyway, I'll just give you extra B-roll. Oh, here's the wind. So tip number one, make a plan before you go. Now, every country that you visit has safe spots and dangerous spots, and the majority of these places in every country has safe spots. There are some areas that you generally want to avoid. You can either A, research before you go, or B, ask locals when you arrive. And I'll give you just a simple example. Maybe you want to go and visit a museum. You go through the museum for 1 hour and then you're finished and now you want to go for a walk. But what you didn't know is that the museum is in the middle of a bad neighborhood. So if you actually go out and walk, then there's a risk that you could be attacked or mugged or something like that. You don't have to make a detailed plan. I'm probably the worst when it comes to making plans, but generally make some generalized plan so you know where you're going and what you're doing. And that kind of leads me into the second tip, which is to inform someone where you're going and what you're doing. So this could be someone overseas, like if you're traveling in a different country, you could message one of your family members and say, hey, I'm going here between this time and this time, I should be back at this time. Done. You could do that every day on your trip, just as a fail-safe, just in case you do disappear and people are searching for you. These people will know generally where you should have been and they can start the search there. I know this sounds kind of scary. I'm not trying to scare you, but the reality is that bad things can happen. Is it rare? Yes, but they can happen, and the way to overcome some of these bad things is to be just a little bit more prepared to either A, prevent them from happening, or B, provide a solution in case they do happen. So the key is basically inform someone else. Maybe it's someone out of the country, maybe it's someone at your hotel. Say, hey, I'm going here. If I don't come back at this time, something might be wrong. Number 3, program the emergency phone numbers in your phone, or at least take a screenshot of them. Basically, from country to country to country, 911 is not always 911, yeah? If you call 911, you might get like a real estate agent. Like, I'm not kidding. So you have to be aware of what some of these numbers are before you travel. It's probably not likely that you're going to go hiking up a mountain all by yourself in a foreign country, but if you do and you trip and fall and cut your leg really, really deep and you're scared that you're going to lose all of your blood, then yeah, you want to know the emergency numbers. And chances are, when you're in that state, you're not going to be able to go to Google and say, okay, Google, what is the number to call because I'm dying. Generally, you just want to have these things in your phone ready to go so you can call in case you have an emergency. So that's a big one. Have a screenshot in your phone somewhere or save the numbers in your phone just in case something crazy happens. You're ready to go. Before you leave your home country and you're traveling to your hotel, it's important to just go on Google Maps and save the address into your Google Maps. So when you arrive, you have a map to show you how to get from the airport to your hotel, and it makes it easy. You can just simply show the map to someone in that local country if they don't speak your language, and they can generally figure out how to take you there. Plus, you can turn on your GPS and it'll tell them exactly where to turn in the taxi, which is super convenient. Not only this, but if you go out walking in the neighborhood and you can't quite remember which way you turned and you're not sure how to get back to your hotel, again, you're already pre-programmed into your phone and you can figure out how to return. Just don't forget to put your address into your GPS from every hotel to hotel that you go in different towns, cities, or villages. It's important. So number 6 is kind of weird. Lie to people, right? So yes, I'm telling you to lie to people. Not always, just sometimes. Basically, I've been to countries where people approach you quite frequently and they ask you some of the weirdest questions. Like, within the first 15 seconds of them meeting you and approaching you, they will ask you, what type of job do you have? How much money do you make? What hotel are you staying in? Are you married? Stuff like this, right? It gets really weird. So I have learned that sometimes in these other countries, these are just normal questions. These are just kind of normal cultural questions. From a Western perspective, we see this as intrusive. Like, why do you want to know if I'm married? Why do you want to know how much money I'm worth? Why do you want to know what hotel I'm sleeping in? Stuff like this is really weird. But sometimes in other cultures, this is just a normal thing. It's their way of showing that they care about you, which is really strange. It's hard for me to wrap my mind around this concept, but in their mind, it's their way of just saying, hey, I'm interested in knowing more about you. You seem cool, you seem friendly, tell me more about you. We see these questions as quite repulsive and quite intrusive, and we really want to avoid them. So I will tell you, when someone asks me these questions, generally I don't like to give an honest response. I will say, yeah, I'm staying in this hotel. I think it's over here. I'm not sure. I can't remember what direction I'm in right now. I have no idea. Well, oh, what's the name? What's the name? Yeah, I don't know the name. I don't know the name. I forgot. These are the common responses that I give back to people. I just don't want to tell people where I'm sleeping at night and how much I'm worth. It's just weird. So maybe their intentions are okay and totally benign, but I like to play on the cautious side. Maybe they're the 1 or 2 people who are crazy and they literally want to do harm and they will target me. So therefore, I just try to play it safe every time and just give them bogus information. Sometimes they'll even ask, yeah, how long are you staying in this city? And I'll say, oh yeah, I'm leaving tomorrow. Sometimes people have seen me 2 days later and they're like, oh, I thought you were leaving. And I said, yeah, I ended up staying longer or something like that. So these things do happen, but generally I don't tell people where I sleep at night. Number 7, eating healthy. I know this sounds crazy, but the reality is that if you are on the road as long as I am, which has been more than 4 years now, eating healthy is important. If you're just going to travel for a week and then go back home, yeah, just you know, whatever, eat as much candy and junk food as you want. You're on vacation, right? But if you're making this a long-term journey, several weeks, several months, you will pay the price by just eating junk food every time you go to a restaurant. So really pay attention to your health long term. So the way that I do this is I find the nearby fruit and vegetable shops and I buy and eat raw fruits and raw vegetables. I would say 80% fruit and then 20% raw vegetables like cucumbers and carrots. It just helps me stay a little bit healthier, and I encourage you to do the same thing. Number 8, make friends with the locals. So to me, this is probably the most amazing part about traveling the world, is meeting local people from different countries with different cultures, different backgrounds, different mindsets, different everything. This is super fun. This is like what I live for when I travel. But it's not only fun, it's generally a safer thing to do. Generally, human beings want to help you. They see that you're a traveler, they see that you're vulnerable, and so therefore they want to help. And generally people have good intentions. I will say that I've been traveling and I've met thousands of people in the last 4 years, and 99.9% of people have been awesome and helpful and friendly. Just the 1/10 of 1% was a little bit crazy and things got weird. But generally people see that you are vulnerable and they want to help. So basically I encourage you to make friends with them. They invite you to hang out, they invite you to travel with them. Sometimes they invite you to their house to stay instead of staying at a hotel. Sometimes they'll teach you what areas you can go to visit for free. Sometimes they'll teach you how to save money because you're doing this wrong and you should be doing this, and only local people would know that. So they give you all types of tips and tricks and ways to basically keep you safe while you're traveling. Number 9, I think we're on number 9. Hide the valuables somewhere in your hotel room. So if you're staying at a hotel, I encourage you to bring only a little bit of cash with you, what you think you will spend for that evening plus a little bit more. Leave everything else behind, but don't leave it in your bag, don't leave it on the table, don't leave it on the bed. Hide it. Get creative. I think I have one of the best hiding spots there is in a hotel room that no one would ever in a million years check. I won't tell you that, because if I tell you that, then the world will know it, and then therefore it'll be ineffective. So I encourage you to challenge yourself and get creative and find a place to hide your valuables. There's nothing worse than coming back to your hotel room and finding that you've been robbed by the hotel staff. Okay, this has never happened to me, not that I know of, but it does happen. It is a thing. So I encourage you to hide your important things like jewelry, even though you probably shouldn't be traveling with jewelry anyway. But if you are, hide it. And extra cash, hide it, that type of thing. Credit cards. It could be deep under your mattress. Nobody's gonna lift a mattress and search to the center. The key is set an alarm, set a note on your phone so when you leave the hotel, you don't actually forget your stuff. Number 10, make a backup of all of your important documents on your own cloud. Save it to the internet and save it to a place that you have access to while you're traveling. If you come across the border, you'll get stamps in your passport and you'll have your visa in there. But what happens if your documents are stolen, your bag is stolen? Now your passport is gone and you need to go back home tomorrow. The airline company will say, where's your passport? You'll say, well, it's stolen. They're gonna say, I'm sorry, I can't let you on the plane, and you're screwed. You will not be able to go back home. You will lose the money that you paid for your flight, and you'll have to buy a new flight. So it's going to get really strange really fast. In addition to that, you will have to stay longer in a country because it's going to take potentially 2 weeks for you to get a passport in order for you to go back home. But I've learned one of the ways to speed up the process to get a temporary passport is to prove that you are who you are by photocopies of your passport before it was stolen. So photocopy it, take photos of it, save it to your cloud. Even when you cross the border, take pictures of all of the documents that they have given you when you cross the border. If the immigration office loses information or something, you're not screwed. Same thing with hotels. If hotels give you a receipt, take a photo of it, save it to your cloud. If you need a cloud to use, I researched this topic for a long time before I started to travel the world, and I found one that I think is the best. It's the cheapest for unlimited storage. Go to solotravel365.com/backup and you'll see the company that I recommend. Number 11, look confident when you're out traveling on the streets. Yes, this sounds totally strange. Yes, this sounds weird. You may be in an area that you have never been before. You have no idea where you are, what you're doing. You have no idea how this culture operates. You're dressed different than everyone else. You stand out like a sore thumb. Be confident. Ooze confidence in your body language. I can tell you, generally traveling the world is quite safe. Not very many people are going to attack you and try to steal from you. So generally you're okay. But if those people are looking at you, I can promise you, if people see that you are a confident person, they're going to say, this person has been here for a while. They understand what things are like, and it's going to be very difficult for me to trick them into something or cheating them or stealing from them. It will be difficult for me to trick that person because I can see they've been here for a while. They probably live here because they're showing confidence. But if you're walking around looking on your phone, going like this, like searching for the map, or you're looking around like you're lost, oh my God. The people, if they are bad and they see you do this, they're going to say, this is the perfect person to attack. This is the perfect person to trick or cheat, because they don't even hardly know where they are, let alone what the culture is like and how things operate. So kind of lie to yourself and lie to the public with body language. Show that you're confident. Make people feel like you know where you are and what you're doing, and you have a place to go from point A to point B, and generally people are not going to come up to you and try to rip you off. Number 12, make sure you pack properly. I know you don't want to go to Antarctica with a bag full of clothes like you're dressed for the Bahamas. So it's important to pack the correct clothing, right? You don't want to die and freeze to death, and you don't want to wear sweaters and mittens when you're in the Bahamas. So I know it's kind of obvious, but it's important. So just make sure you're dressed properly, make sure you're taking the correct equipment with you, and don't overpack. My God, don't overpack. Basically, the industry standard as a solo traveler is to pack everything that you need, and when it's fully packed, divide it by 2, and that is actually what you need, only half of that, and that's so true. I think one of the craziest things, I remember I was traveling in Vietnam, I had a huge gimbal. I paid $500 for this gimbal, and I used it much less than I thought I would. It was the manual one, not the electronic one, the nice ones today. And eventually it was just so heavy, carrying it with me so much, and it was so bulky. I didn't use it very often because of that reason. It took so much time to take it out and set it up, and just for a shot, and then put it back. So finally I just took this, I put it right in the garbage can, and kept on walking in Vietnam. Seriously. So only bring things that you for sure 100% know that you will use a lot. And if it's things that you're going to use once a month, just don't even bother with it. Number 13, avoid walking at night. Now, I'm not saying that you should never walk at night. I do, everybody does, but just be aware that this is generally the time where bad things can happen. Generally, it's because there's cover. If you're walking down the street during the day, not many people are going to attack you because everyone around you will identify that person, and then the police will go to their house and things will get crazy really quick. So, obviously, bad people operate at night because if they attack you, everyone who is around are either gone and inside their house, or option B, if they are there, they cannot identify this man. So therefore, that's the perfect time for criminals to operate. So all I can tell you is, if you're really concerned about your safety, just don't travel at night. Have I broke that rule like 100,000 times? Absolutely. Luckily, nothing bad has ever happened to me traveling at night, but can it? Absolutely. I think it just increases the odds, increases the chances that you will have something negative happen to you versus traveling in the day. Number 14, keep an eye on your stuff. I know, sounds like another obvious one. For example, you're traveling with your bag, you need to use the bathroom, so it's just so big, you know, it's so bulky to take this giant bag in the bathroom with you, and it's just, no. So you just leave it outside against the wall, go in, come out, your bag's gone. Haha, yeah, you should have thought that one through. This scenario doesn't happen very often where someone will completely take your stuff, but if it does, then what? So all I can say is the way that you prevent these things from happening is prevent them from happening. If you need to go to the bathroom, take that bag with you. If you have to put it on the floor and put your feet on top of it in order to use the toilet, go for it. I don't know what else to say. The key is to keep your eyes on your stuff always. Even when I'm riding on a bus or flying on a plane, my expensive bag that I take on the plane with me, the carry-on, that has all of my electronics. When I put the bag in the above compartment, I either A, put it in front of me so I can see it always, even when I'm on a bus, or option B, I put it under my feet. There's no other possibility. There's no way that bag is going behind me. I won't let it happen. There's just too much money in that bag. All I need is for one person to take from it, and it shuts down everything. It's really difficult. How will I get that piece of equipment back? Because now in my bag are only the things that are absolutely essential to make this whole YouTube operation happen. If one piece is gone, a laptop, a camera, a microphone, a phone, anything, the whole operation is shut down because I need each piece as a working part. So it's very important to keep your eye on your bag wherever you go, no matter what. Number 15, research scams before you arrive in a country. And yes, before you arrive in a country. So basically every country that you will go to has scams. I promise it, even the country that you're sitting in right now. Scams are everywhere. The key to avoid being scammed is to understand what the scams are in that country. There are scams that overlap in every country. Some of them are similar, but some of them are so drastically different. Like you wouldn't even believe some of the scams that happen. People will spend more than 1 hour with you just to get to that end point to scam you. It will be impossible for you to realize that this whole operation was a scam because so many other positive things took place and you let your guard down because you know you can trust these people now. But at the very end, the whole goal was to scam you and you didn't know it. So all I can tell you is you don't know a thing until you start researching the scams in the specific country that you're going to. There's people who make YouTube videos, there's people who make blog posts about it. Read through them. Read through at least 3 full blog posts about this topic, about the specific country that you're going to go to, because you will be shocked about some of the scams that you would never thought possible. And the scams usually start the second your plane touches down and you start walking in the airport. There are just a plethora of scams. Be aware before you go. Number 16, inform your bank before you go. So there's nothing quite as exciting as being in a foreign country where you have $20 in your pocket and you go to the ATM to get cash and you're denied. So you go across the street to the other ATM and you're denied. You're denied. You're denied 5 times in one afternoon. What do? You try to go to the hotel and they say, sorry, you cannot stay another night unless you pay in advance. You will sleep on the streets, and there's only one hotel in the whole town. Not joking, this happened to me, and I've had several scenarios that were similar to this, so it gets really weird. All I can tell you is call your bank in advance and say, hey, I'm traveling here for this amount of time, just to let you know, and then usually you're not going to have any problems. I called my bank and said, hey, I'm going to be in this country, this year, and they said, okay, I'll put a note in there. I've never had any problems since. So just be aware, call your bank in advance, let them know what's happening, and generally you won't get stuck in a foreign country without cash. Oh, to extend this story even further, I remember while I was in Bangladesh, I dropped my wallet, someone took it within 1 minute, it was gone, which had a credit card. My other credit card expired like 3 days ago, and my backup credit card got shut down when I swiped it. I was screwed and out of money. It was unbelievably crazy. In addition to that, when I called my bank back in the United States, do you know what they told me? They said, well, this is fraud prevention and we can't help you. The only way that you can unlock your account is if you walk into one of our offices and then prove your identity with your birth certificate and your, I don't even know what it was. But I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm in Bangladesh right now. What do I do? And he said, sorry, sir, I am not allowed to talk to you anymore. You need to do this and then you can call us back. And I said, I don't know. Click. That was it. That was my bank in the United States. He hung up on me because he thought that I was the fraud. It's insane. So what happened is I had to call back, explain the situation. Luckily that person listened. And I actually had to have my mother go in with paperwork and prove that I am me and I'm in another country. It was the most insane thing, and luckily that worked. They accepted and everything became okay after that. It was nuts. So don't get in the predicament that I got in. Let them know beforehand. Number 17, use a VPN at all times, and I do mean all the time. Don't turn it off. It doesn't matter if you have a SIM card from your home country, or if you have a local SIM card, or if you're using Wi-Fi at your hotel, or if you're out at a coffee shop, keep your VPN on. For those of you who have no idea how this whole thing works, basically you live in a world today where there is so much cybercrime, it would blow your mind. In addition to that, all of the information that you share on your phone, you send messages to people, you log into accounts, all of that can be hacked so easily if you're not using a VPN. So all I can recommend to you is please use a VPN. If you don't have a VPN, there is a company that I recommend, solotravel365.com/VPN. If you go there, you'll see who I recommend, and you'll actually get a discount if you use that link as well. So my God, use a VPN when you travel the world. Number 18. Use a dummy wallet, use a dummy purse, something like that. So basically when you're out traveling, have cash in your pocket in 2 different locations. So you have $10 in your wallet, okay, your dummy wallet. This is the wallet where you actually will take money out of to pay for things. In a different area, maybe in a small pocket somewhere, put the rest of your cash inside. If for some reason someone sees your wallet and snatches it and runs, okay, you have 10 bucks. I still have the other $90 in my pocket. Versus if you keep everything in one location, such as your wallet or your purse, then all they gotta do is just take one item and run. So is it rare that someone's going to snatch from you? Totally. It's not normal at all. But if it does happen, it's not so bad. Number 19, don't drink too much alcohol alone. Sure, you can go out and have a beer somewhere or 2, whatever, but just be cautious because there are places, especially when you're in the tourist area of different countries, I mean, you are a target. You are a foreigner in their country. They know this, they see this, they know that you don't understand a lot about their culture. They can target you so much easier as a foreigner. In addition to that, now you're drunk. It's just the easiest thing in the world. You're happy, you're drunk, you're walking, someone comes up to you and just wants to be your friend, and you say, oh yes, because you're in a drunk mood, and next thing you know, when you get home, everything is gone. Your wallet's gone and everything important is gone. They pickpocketed you and you had no idea because you were wasted. So if you're going to drink, be with a friend. If 2 drunk people are together, that's better than 1 drunk person alone. But I recommend that you have one person who's relatively sober and then the other person can drink a little bit more if you want. So just be cautious. Number 20. Now this one's a little bit weird. Accept only beverages that are unopened. Yeah, this depends on where you're traveling, what part of the world. There are countries, I won't name them, that have a reputation of spiking drinks, and I mean it. It's scary. Like, this scares me. So when you're traveling to even 4 or 5-star hotels, you have your first alcoholic beverage of the night, and next thing you know, you pass out and your wife thinks you're dying, and potentially you are because they put something in your drink. So the ambulance comes and your wife is saying, well, why aren't you helping my husband? Help him, he's dying, what are you doing? Okay, well, I need your credit card information first and then I will help. What? Are you kidding me? So these things happen. Then finally she says, okay, because the husband is dying, so here's my credit card information, which is really weird. They take you to a hospital, you go to the hospital, they fix you within 12 hours, and then when you try to leave, they're going to charge you $10,000 US. So all of these things, basically the person who spiked the drink, the ambulance, and the doctors, they all had a plan to spike your drink, make a certain ambulance come, and that ambulance will take you to a certain hospital to overcharge you. And when you go to the police, there's nothing that they can do because the laws in that country state that they broke no laws. This is legal. It's insanity. So be careful. While traveling the world, I have never followed this rule, but I have not gone to some of these notorious locations. So research and do your homework before you just go to a country and start accepting drinks from everybody, especially if you're going into a tourist area, because this is generally where it happens, because that's where the money is at and that's where people get targeted. Like I said in the previous tip, research scams before you go. Be aware of what is possible in an area. That particular example can happen anywhere in the world, but it's notorious in certain parts of the world. So just be cautious. Most people, 99% of people you will meet are kind and friendly and helpful and wonderful, but it's that one scary percent that you have to worry about. And unfortunately, this is one scenario that you have to worry about. Number 21, don't trust everyone. I know, this sounds terrible. Things are getting doom and gloom, but don't worry, there's a light at the end of the tunnel, I promise. So don't trust everyone. Not everyone is bad, I promise. So there's a difference between don't trust everyone and don't trust anyone. Don't trust anyone means you shouldn't trust a single person that exists while you're solo traveling. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is don't trust everyone, meaning 99% of the people, 99.9% of the people are great, but it's that crazy 1/10% that is dangerous. How you will be able to make a determination whether you should or should not trust someone, I don't know. I will tell you this, I'll give you an example. Someone helped me for 3 hours and they were very kind, very friendly. In fact, they were so helpful that I decided to take him and his friend out to a 4-star hotel. We had lunch, it was very, very nice, probably the nicest dinner I've had in more than a year. And I reached in my bag to pull out my envelope with cash in it to pay the bill, put it back in, closed it. Well, while I was talking to someone, apparently this man went in my bag, took all of that cash out of my bag and closed my bag, and I did not discover this until about an hour later. So, and he was the only person next to my bag because I always keep it with me. So just because someone is nice to you does not mean that they have good intentions. Usually you'd like to think that, but unfortunately it's just not always true. So unfortunately, now that I travel, my guard is up pretty high. Yes, you're friends with me. Yes, we're hanging out, but I still have my guard up. Unfortunately, that's just how it has to be. I don't know how to make a positive spin on that negative statement. It's just the reality. So never forget this statement. Just because someone is nice doesn't mean that they have good intentions. The majority of the time, they are nice and they do have good intentions, but not always. Number 22, learn local laws. Now, I'm not saying that you want to become a lawyer and learn everything about the country. No, just some basic things. Like if you know where you're going, if you know what you're going to be doing when you're there, I would recommend that you just do a couple Google searches to make sure you don't get yourself into trouble. Let's say you want to go hiking up a mountain that not many people go to. Sounds cool, but what if you get there and then the police come because you're walking on land that nobody's allowed to be walking on? It's illegal, and now you have to pay a huge penalty or even go to a jail. So this sounds extreme, this sounds weird, but if you know what you plan on doing before you get there, just do a couple Google searches to make sure there's nothing particularly weird. There are some weird laws around the world, and I mean weird. So it's just strange. I can't even begin to describe to you how strange some of the laws are around the world compared to a general Western country. So, and some of these you will just have no idea that it's a thing. You'll just be shocked that you can't do that thing. And so all I can recommend to you is please do a little bit of homework before you leave and save yourself craziness. Number 23, walk away from danger. I know this sounds obvious as well, but I'm specifically talking about a moment where maybe a local man approaches you and starts to talk to you or something like that, and you say something that maybe he didn't understand properly, or he misinterpreted, or maybe you said something but he didn't like your answer, and now he starts to become angry. And so you're trying to defend what you had just said maybe, and things get really weird and he starts to become angry and shouting and stuff. Just walk away. Don't even deal with it. Don't even take the time to explain why he is unbelievably stupid and completely wrong. Don't try to convince him that you are right, because some people, it's literally just like talking to a wall. You cannot change their mind. And what gets crazier is if for some reason the heat escalates where he attacks you and you want to defend yourself, next thing you know, the police come, okay? And guess who's going to win? The local man. You're a foreigner. You're in the wrong country, buddy. The police will often side on the local person because you're just a foreigner. You're wrong. You don't even understand anything. You're nothing. So it's insane. All I can tell you is just be aware. Don't let things get to the point where potentially someone gets physical with you, because there's a pretty good chance that you're going to lose in a court case. You're going to lose when the police comes. You're going to lose in every way possible because you are not a local person. You are the foreigner. Number 24, either A, don't bring jewelry with you, or B, hide it. But if you're going to hide it, why bring it? I've been to countries where even if you wear a wristwatch, a cheap wristwatch, maybe you paid $10 for this cheap wristwatch, you will be a target because in their mind, in their culture, they associate watches with wealth. They see you as a prey. They want to take from you. Again, this is only bad people. The good people don't care. But again, you have to think like a criminal. If a criminal sees you wearing a wristwatch, they may approach you and try to scam you or cheat you. If you're traveling in the way that I do, travel from country to country, first world countries, third world countries, everything in between, don't even take jewelry. Like, look at this. The most expensive thing on me right now probably costs 50 cents. This one right here, the red one, that cost 6 cents. 6. Not kidding. The necklace, this was free. This I paid like 9 cents for. So I'm not kidding you. Don't wear a lot of jewelry, especially if it's gold or silver, very shiny, very valuable. People see you as a target. Who are you trying to impress anyway? I don't know, like I don't know. Maybe my mindset is different than yours. Maybe your intentions are to travel to somewhere for 2 weeks and you need to look really good because you're going to some type of event. I get it. Okay, wear it to the event, but I would hide it when you go out walking on the streets. Just just for added protection. I don't know, that's what I would do. Number 25. When you arrive at your hotel, the first thing that you should do is ask them about any potential areas that you should not visit. Yeah, because they know the area inside and out. Yeah, you should definitely not go over there. It's notorious. Many foreigners have had problems there. Just stay away. Oh, thank you for telling me, because I had no idea. I even did research online and it didn't tell me that. So local people know things that the internet doesn't know, and you certainly don't know. So be sure that you take the time to ask your receptionist at your hotel everywhere that you go. Even if you meet someone outside, ask them the same question, because they may give you a completely different answer in a new location that your receptionist didn't know about. Number 26, register with your local embassy. So when you arrive in a country, one of the best things that you can do is just either email or walk in, say, hey, I am a citizen from your country. This is where I'm staying. I will be here for this many days. My plan is to go from here to here to here and then fly out. They'll say, cool, thank you. They'll take note. And if for some crazy reason something happens to you, believe me, they will be able to find this information and be all over your case. So it's a safety thing. Do I do it? No. Should I do it? Absolutely. It's just an added protection for you. Number 27, be prepared with travel insurance. I know it's not something that we all look forward to, spend money on something that we may never use. I get it. But if for some reason something crazy happens, I mean something like that's not even your fault at all, you're sitting on a motorbike, on a taxi motorbike, or even in a car, in a car taxi, and you're waiting at a stoplight and someone smashes into the back of your car, what are you going to do without a travel insurance? Because this guy just takes off and goes away, but you can barely move your body and your neck feels like it's broken. So guess who gets to pay for the giant hospital bill? You do. Be prepared with travel insurance. If you don't know who to use, go to this link below. I'll send you to a page that shows you a little bit more and kind of why you should be using travel insurance when you travel the world. And the last tip number 28, is be aware that tourist areas are generally the most dangerous areas ever. I can tell you, I've been to several different countries. I've been to so many areas within each country. And like clockwork, almost every single time something weird happens where people either A, tried cheating me, B, tried stealing from me, C, some other crazy thing happened, it was 99% of the time right in the center of a tourist area. That is the heart of where the danger is in almost every single country, because the crazy people, they know that is where the wealth is, that's where the money is at, so that's where they want to go and cheat people. The second you just get out of these tourist areas, you will start to experience the real country, the real culture, the real people. These people are generally not hostile, not dangerous, not aggressive. They're kind, they're friendly, they're welcoming, they're helpful. These are the people that you want to surround yourself with. You know, the tourist areas have some cool things inside of it, but nothing compares to the culture within every country when you get out of the tourist area. So I recommend that you spend some time outside of the tourist area. So just be aware, when you're in a tourist area, you are in the danger zone. So my battery died. I had to go recharge it and come back right in the last couple sentences, I guess. So crazy. Anyway, I guess I just want to tell you that I hope the information helped you in some way, shape, or form. Whether you're a new traveler or an experienced traveler, there's always things that I think we can improve in regards to keeping us safe. So anyway, what was I going to say? Oh, I hope I didn't scare anyone. Like, I know a lot of the examples I gave were a little bit frightening, especially if you're new to traveling alone. Hopefully the information didn't terrify you. I honestly do believe that traveling the world alone, solo, is quite safe. In fact, you can click on that link and it'll actually bring you to a page where you can learn how I feel about solo traveling in terms of safety. And I do believe that it's relatively safe. Obviously, yes, there's a chance of craziness happening, but it's a pretty low chance. That's pretty much it. Hopefully this helps. Hope you all have a great day. Thank you all for watching, and remember, your time is running out. Start living. Take care.